Let's see. First, police aren't sure if maybe she drowned because she was headed to Haviland's Cove, which is a beach on the Hudson River in Glens Falls. They don't really think so. They think she was either abducted, or it is a possibility, according to the family, that the person she was going down there to see, the mother's boyfriend, may have had something to do with her disappearance, or his young adult son. Because apparently he was, according to family, inappropriate with her, the son. So, over the years, there have been a few leads. A couple of them really weird. The first one that I found really strange was in 1978. A woman with the same exact name died in a fire in Buffalo with her 2 children. I find this weird because she had the exact same name, and the birthday they had for her was within a year or so of Mary Ann. I don't know if they ever tried to get DNA to find out for sure if she was her, if she was related in some way the family was unaware of, and that's why they shared a name. Nothing really came of it, so the family moved on. And in 1995, a woman was found by the son living in Massachusetts. I think she was in the Lee Lenox area, which is on the far western end of Massachusetts. The only thing after those 2 towns in Massachusetts is Albany, New York. Who was the right age, looked just like his sister. He even did an overlay of her picture and his sister's picture. The crooked teeth even matched. It was uncanny. She refuses to give DNA, refuses to show any type of identification to the police. I would think you wouldn't have the option to not show the police identification, but she refuses to do it. Another possibility is a suspect called Kenneth Yarter. He was a bad dude. He killed a girl in Argyle, which is about 11 miles outside of Glens Falls. I have actually been to Glens Falls. Just a little note, because my uncle lives there. He lives in South Glens Falls. And I actually called my aunt, and I want to thank my Aunt Sandra for helping me with this case, with the geography, and sort of explaining the area to me at the time. That is so helpful. So, from what she told me, the Yarder family, not just this guy, were all in trouble. And this came not only from her memory, but from her memory of newspaper articles during the time period. She remembered the murder in Argyle, because it wasn't that far away. The corner of the street that she lived on and Broad Street, which apparently she didn't use. My aunt told me it would be the most direct route to the Cove, would be going down Hudson Avenue and onto Broad Street, which would be a busy main thoroughfare east to west in the town. It had all sorts of little, pizza parlors and places, of businesses, Just like if you live in a small town like Douglas, Main Street is the business hub. It's a business district. Same thing. So, there was Broad Street and there was another street that went north-south that was the same way. They were the main streets. And so that's where she thought she would have gone. According to her brother, she took Spring Street, and I'm not sure. I guess it was a longer trip, but perhaps a safer trip, because the projects were at the corner of Hudson Avenue and Broad Street. My aunt tells me the projects were very nice apartments. They were townhomes, two floors, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Gorgeous. People that lived there, well, questionable, according to her at the time. So, you know, one thing I don't understand, and I had mentioned this to the brother, and he said, well, his mother had some issues. Why would you ever send your kid back to get your boyfriend when your children have just told you your boyfriend is at the Cove with another woman? I'd wait till he got home and confront him privately. And even my aunt agreed with that. But when I talked to the brother, it made sense, since the mother has some issues, that maybe she and had been drinking that day, maybe wasn't thinking like the rest of us. So it certainly enlightened the situation, shed some light on it, is what I mean. So she had wanted, another possibility is that she had wanted to run away. She'd written a note to her mother. It said, "I'm leaving, I might miss you." I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but that sounds so freaking ridiculous. It's like something somebody would write in a sitcom. It's just not real. And she wrote a note to her sister, which she did not mail. Apparently her sister didn't live with her, that said she hated Glens Falls. Well, they hadn't lived there but a few months, and I guess they'd lived in another town before that. And the parents got divorced. So that is why the boyfriend became a suspect, was because she was sent back to get him. But I like I said, I love her note. Anyway, in 1998, her family actually contacted America's Most Wanted. Apparently, America's Most Wanted never got back to them. Wasn't interested, I guess. I do know, again from her brother Paul, that the family was supposed to all do an interview with a local station a number of years back. The lady was all set to do it, and the family backed out. So it just frustrated him a little bit. I will say that her case has never been forgotten by the police, because Police Chief Lydon did a 100-mile bike ride to help organizations that helped him with cases involving children, including NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, who are hands-on in this case, the case of Mary Ann Wesolowski. Again, as I mentioned before, Kenneth Yarder was a suspect. He actually didn't become a suspect until 1995, when he started bragging to another inmate in a Las Vegas jail, in which he was for murder. As I mentioned, he was convicted of murder in Argyle. So how he wound up in Vegas committing another murder, I don't know. Doesn't make sense. You'd think he would have been in residence in the custody of the state of New York. Rikers Island, somewhere like that. But he wasn't. So, that's why he became a suspect. There was really nothing more. The brother said he to an inmate. That's also reflected in the newspapers. I did go in the newspaper archives, as I explained to the brother, to do some research. And I was able to find a few things. I found the fire, which again I found really odd. I know the police have ruled, and I should mention this, should have mentioned it earlier, the police have ruled out the boyfriend. But they refused to re-interview him. So I'm not sure, I haven't seen anything official where he was ruled out. I just see people saying he was ruled out, so I don't know if he was officially, but they refused to go back and interview him. So, and again, is his son ruled out? Because as I understand it, as I mentioned to you earlier, his son was inappropriate with her. He was in his late teens or early 20s. She was 13. I want to thank Paul. Paul was super nice. He was more than willing to speak with me. This is very difficult for him because he feels like he's alone in it, you know, and we want to let him know. Let him know in the comments here, the comments on Facebook, wherever you see this video, comments on my blog, that he isn't alone, that we are here. The kid missing is here, the kid missing family is here on YouTube, the kid missing family is here on my blog, on my Facebook. Let him know that. I think he really needs that. Again, I want to thank my aunt Sandra for helping me in my research. For this case, because she's the one that put together the geography for me, as I may have mentioned, telling me where these places were, what they were like during the time period, which is helpful, believe it or not. It's helpful. As I mentioned, she explained to me the two main streets, and one of them was Broad Street. Now, if you read about this case, you will see one thing I want to mention. Some sources will say she was coming back from the Cove and was going to get a sandwich, which is where Yarder comes in, because he worked at a sandwich shop on Broad Street and lived in Argyle, which again was, it's only 11 miles away or so. Probably less depending on what part of each town that you're going to. And so that's how he became a person of interest. I don't know if they have any other persons of interest or not. I wasn't able to find anything, and I read every single article I could find in newspaper archives, which thank goodness I have, being a genealogist. If I hear anything else, I would be sure and update you on the next video, because the brother did promise to accept my friend request, and he said he was sending me a message, so I'll let you know if there's anything more in that message. I want to send a quick shout out to Power Director University. Thank you, Malik. You have helped me so much in editing these videos. I'm so happy to have found that and to be able to bring you these videos and to bring them to you in a much more professional way than I ever have before. And I hope that you appreciate that, and we want to get to 100 by spring. So please hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell and click all notifications so you get notifications of everything that I post. again, go to our Twitter, our Instagram. Kid Missing Radio even has, which I also use for Kid Missing TV, a Facebook page. Go ahead and like that. You will find out when we post, but you'll find out right away if you're a subscriber. Comment, like I said, tell Paul, we care. As long as he doesn't give up, we don't give up. I want to give you a quick description before we go. She was 4 feet 5 inches tall. She weighed 91 pounds. Gosh, she was tiny. 13 years old, and she has long, reddish brown hair. That's a description straight from her brother. Reddish blonde hair, sorry. And she had the brightest blue eyes. That was something he seemed to enjoy remembering about his sister, her really bright, vivid blue eyes. So I wanted to mention that. Thank you all for joining me. Have a great, absolutely gorgeous day. We'll see you here again Tuesday. I haven't decided what case we're going to talk about Tuesday. Check our Twitter and I might let you know later. Goodbye. God bless you. Mask up, MA. Oh, and in case you're wondering, I almost forgot. The reason I wasn't here Tuesday, as I mentioned Monday when I made my video, I had an appointment. Well, I got my shot. Johnson & Johnson. I feel great. Wings a little sore, but otherwise I feel great. So get your shot when you can. Thank you. Have a great day. God bless.